on top with 6 weeks left. The Packers and Bucks just behind them for the best record in the NFC. 4 teams are within a game of each other for those last 2 wild card spots. So let's run through some must-win games for the wild card. So, Randy, what is the key for the 49ers against the Seahawks?
I want y'all smell that?
Uh-oh, what is
What you got?
I smell something burning.
Oh,
Ayuk is on fire! Hey, man, I'm talking about wide receiver for the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk. For the last 4 weeks, top 10 in receiving yards, second on the team in receiving yard, second on the team in touchdown receptions. No Deebo Samuel today. I think a lot of tension is going to be on tight end George Kittle. So once again, Ayuk is on fire!
I promise we didn't plan that.
All right, let me go to the Washington football team. We don't have fire, but we got grind, and they grind with that running game with Antonio Gibson. And once they get that running game going, Taylor Heineke's favorite target is Terry McLaurin. This Washington football team is finding its groove, and if they keep pounding that rock, it's going to give Taylor Heineke what he needs in terms of protection and play-action passing to find McLaurin. He's not on fire, all right, like Ayuk, but he's doing pretty good. Let's go, Washington football team.
Well, you know who is on fire?
Who?
The wide receivers for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, they are.
Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, the best combination in all of football. Yes, I said it, and I mean it. 16 combined touchdowns with these 2 guys. They're going up against a Detroit team that, quite honestly, is not very good against the pass. So I would expect these guys to continue the fire, how hot they are. They've been incredible all year. Don't expect that to change today.
Yeah, well, I tell you, tough matchup for the Falcons, man. They got smoked the last time they played, gave up 48 points. So how are you going to stop Tom Brady and company? Give it to Cordero Patterson. Yes, at least 25 times.
Please,
you
Atlanta.
heard it here. Why? You're going to get better quarterback play if you give Cordell Patterson the ball. Keep giving this man the football, and you will have a chance in this game. If you don't, you have no chance. So it's pretty simple. Give Cordero Patterson the football. Please.
That's simple math, Rex.
Simple math.
He threw and smoked in there. Randy, I really didn't know where you were going with that thing, but we were all in with you, and Carson was all in against the Houston Texans. Looking very dapper on this Week 13 Sunday, trying to get a win off of the loss to the Bucs. So let's look at his conference right now in the AFC. The Ravens have the best record, or at the top of the playoff picture entering today. They're just ahead of the Patriots and the Titans, while the Chiefs lead the AFC West once again. The Bengals and the Bills are in the wild card spots and still have their sights on winning the division with just 6 games left. Let's bring in Morton Adam for top stories. What's the latest, guys?
Well, good morning, Sam. No quarterback in NFL history ever has been with one team as long as Ben Roethlisberger has been with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 18 seasons. But he is now entering the final 6 games of his Hall of Fame career for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as he's told people in and outside the organization that he expects this season to be his final one in Pittsburgh. The Steelers do have cap room after the season to make a play for a quarterback. If that's the route they go, they could always draft a quarterback. But as they try to mount one final playoff push here, these will be the final days, or expect to be the final days, of Ben Roethlisberger playing quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mort.
Yeah, meanwhile, let's take a look at the quarterbacks who are going into the game with some question mark. But Kyler Murray, he's finally back to play for the Arizona Cardinals at the Chicago Bears. Jalen Hurts looks very iffy. We should get word any minute that Gardner Minshew will start if Hurts cannot go with that ankle injury. Andy Dalton will face Kyler Murray. Justin Fields did not get medically cleared, and his backup will be Nick Foles. And for Mike Glennon, he will start in place of Daniel Jones, who has a neck injury. Mike Glennon's all 6'8" of them. And if you've been following the NFL, you know now that Antonio Brown, the Bucs wide receiver, has been suspended for 3 games, along with a couple other players who were related to the Bucs, for violations of the NFL's and NFLPA COVID-19 protocols. Now, in the statement released by the NFL and NFLPA, they didn't say Brown had fake vaccine cards, but that was the story that Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times wrote, and the league and the union followed that blueprint, so to speak. In the meantime, Bruce Arians, the head coach of the Bucs, will not endorse Brown when he does return for that suspension. And by the way, Bruce Arians, Adam, also asked that the league look around other teams to see if they have the same problem.
And Mort, that's exactly what the NFL has been doing for the last week, calling around to teams and asking about players who already have tested positive for COVID, trying to figure out where they've been vaccinated. The league has asked whether those players have been vaccinated on site at the team's training facilities or off site, because if it's off site, that opens up the possibility that they're misrepresenting their vaccination status the way that the league believes Antonio Brown did in this particular case. So the league spent the last week calling around to most, if not all, the teams in the league to figure out more. Bruce Arians wanted more action. The league has been taking more action, Sam.
Yeah, guys, I'm
Here
sure
we
that's
go with
not
that.
the end.
That's the
we're
tip of the
hearing.
iceberg right there.
Yes, it is. But when you look at the Antonio Brown situation specifically, Rex, what do you make of this position they're in with him right now?
Yeah, it's interesting because the last time something like this came up, we talked about how it was Aaron Rodgers' fault, it was the NFL's fault, it was the NFLPA's fault. But right now, this is on Antonio Brown, period. It's on you. All right? You knew exactly what you were doing. It's on you. And when I look at it this way, this guy, he hurts the football team. All right? He's suspended for 3 more games. Obviously, look, Tampa Bay's got an interesting decision to make. All right? Once he gets off of suspension. I think Tampa Bay needs this young man to make a run at the Super Bowl again. All right? As a player. They just don't need the BS that comes with this guy.
I don't think it's a surprise to any of us. I think we all knew that he wouldn't be there available for all 17. There was going to be something. It's always something with Antonio Brown. I think this is just part of the package. There's a lot going on in that package, yes, because of the skill and the ability, but also there's the times where you just know something is probably going to come up out of nowhere. Coaches calls, middle of the night. Oh, man, here we go. What is it? And it's either fake vaccination cards. It can be other things. But I'm telling you, this is a guy that still Tom Brady values.
When Antonio Brown showed up, you're talking about him not finishing the season. But we thought that would be because of injuries. Injuries occur in a game, not anything off the field. It's kind of like when before he became became a Buck. You have your quarterback going out on a limb. You talked about the Seattle Seahawks one, and there was another organization that was interested, Baltimore Ravens, that was interested in Antonio Brown. That could have been smoke and mirrors. But you had the greatest quarterback of all time leaving one organization, going to another one. What he wanted to bring in some troops that he could trust in. So what did Tom do? He stuck his neck out on the limb for Antonio Brown. Last year, they brought all 22 starters back. Who was the last one? Antonio Brown. So the love that Antonio Brown had from the team and the Tampa Bay Bucks, I don't know who wanted him, but they embraced him, brought him there. What did he give them? He helped them win the Super Bowl. So now, for them to go back and try to defend this title with Antonio Brown late in the season, Rex, as a head coach, this is where you want to be gaining momentum at. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've been talking over the
absolutely.
last couple of weeks about what Antonio Brown means to this offense and Tom Brady. He trusts Gronkowski and he trusts Antonio Brown. A 3-game suspension, Antonio Brown, when you do come back, my man, you owe the team.
Yeah, listen, he's already missed 6 games. So this team has had to figure out who they are without Antonio Brown, and even Gronk, they've missed him for a little bit. And I think you saw it last week, just kind of spinning it to football. They rushed for 142 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns last week against the Colts. Okay, and Fournette had another touchdown in the receiving game. So, yes, last year's team, it was Tom Brady relying on his love button, Rob Gronkowski, and then the guy he has great chemistry with in Antonio Brown. I think for them to win a Super Bowl this year, it might have to be a different formula. It has to be something you can count on, something you can hang your hat on.
And what's that?
To me, after watching last week, it's the running game also. That has to be a part of this, that it wasn't a part, like it wasn't last year. It has to be something they rely on.
It's so strange because I think they're so much better with him on the field because of that relationship with Tom. I think they absolutely need Antonio to clean things up and get out there and be reliable.
You can't count on it. He's missed 6 games already this year. There's 6 games to go. He's going to miss the next 3.
Because, see, Brute, you started out talking about him missing some regular season play. Okay? That's because he's been injured. Right now, he's missing 3 games because he's suspended for something off the field. You're talking about them going forward. They need a guy like Antonio Brown. We talked last couple of weeks about the teams in the NFC. We talked about the LA Rams. I don't know where they go, but they got OBJ. We talked about the Arizona Cardinals. We talked about the Green Bay Packers. Offensively, they need a guy like Antonio Brown. Yes, he's going to be missed for 3 games. And I said it, and I will say it again. As a team player, you want to be there for your team. Now you have a 3-game suspension for something off the field. The Tampa Bay Bucks did not need this drama off the field. That's why I said, when Antonio Brown comes back, Antonio, you owe your team, my man.
Do they need him to beat the Falcons?
No.
Probably not. Do they need him next week to beat the Bills?
Maybe.
Maybe. After that, he only misses a game against the Panthers. Then he comes back. They've got the Jets and the Panthers again. So if they can get past the Bills without him, and again, this is on paper, but it looks like smooth sailing. And we know Tom Brady in December. Last year, he didn't lose from December on, and we know what happened at the end of that. So we'll see how they do without him these next 3 games. Will be interesting to see him up again.